Last year, we started the year of mercy proclaimed by Holy Father Pope Francis. And that year of mercy ends today. So at the end of this Mass, we're going to have the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, and a few people have been preparing themselves for a special consecration to divine love. I'm going to ask those who will be consecrated at the end of this Mass to please stand. Let's recognize you. Please stand, all of them. Let's welcome them. You may please be seated. Thank you. Now, they're going to offer more opportunity, and I don't know anything better than being consecrated to merciful love. You're going to see this book, if you haven't read it yet, by Father Getley. It's a good book to read. It's going to introduce you to how we can consecrate ourselves to merciful love. Nothing better than that, okay? It's a prayer card that you can also take home. Now, today, we celebrate the solemnity of Christ, the King of the universe. I've talked about it before, many seasons, like the season of the world, where winter, summer, and all that out there. The church also has seasons. It starts with Advent. Advent is going to begin next week. After Advent is Christmas, then Lent, Easter, ordinary time. When we come to the solemnity of Christ the King, like the one today, it ends this liturgical year. Back in Africa, I called my mother this morning, and she said, Mass was so wonderful. The combined Corpus Christi today. So after the Mass, they go on the street. It will be a distance from here to Holy Apostle. Poor mom, you saw my mother. She couldn't walk very well, so she had to be limping, and people were supporting her. They walked. She told me it was so wonderful. I said, Mom, we're going to do it today. And she said, are you guys going to walk? I said, no, it's too cold. We don't walk. So that's what we celebrate today. It's a beautiful, beautiful celebration. Okay? Now, the kingship of Jesus. Somebody might wonder, what type of king is he? King of peace. King of holiness. King of love. That is different from the kingdoms and the rulers of the world. We elect people into office. I don't care what party they belong to. Once they get in there, sometimes they don't keep to what they promise. You know that. Kings of the world don't keep to what they promise. This is the difference. In Jesus' kingship, royalty matches loyalty. Now, if you don't remember anything else I said today, take that one home. Royalty matches loyalty. He is a royal king, but he is loyal in serving the people. This is a type of king who came so that people would not serve him. He came to serve. A king who is a servant to all. Guess what? He also invited you and me at our baptism that we should participate in that kingship so that we can serve others. On the day you were baptized, and the day I was baptized, after we came out of the water, the priest or deacon who baptized you took the oil of chrism. It's taken from the word Christos, meaning the Christ. In the Old Testament, that would be Messiah, but in the New Testament, understand as the Christ. He poured it upon your crown and mentioned your name. In my sake, would have been Godwin. I have just baptized you. And now I pour upon you the chrism of salvation, so that just as Jesus was anointed priest, prophet, and king, you may share as member of his body unto everlasting life. Guess what? The same thing happened to you when you were baptized. God looked upon you with merciful love, and he did not know what it was going to end up to be or what you were going to end up to be. He consecrated you at baptism to be a priest, to be a king, to be a prophet with him. Look at this. Yesterday, we went to Holy Apostles. People from St. Patrick Church, St. Mary's, and Holy Apostles, because of the basket we pass every third weekend, and you put that $1 or that 20 or that 1,000 or 1 cent, and sometimes children run up here, put their little cents. You know what we use it for? Knights of Columbus took it, contacted many stores, and a truckload of food came. And I want to thank the Knights from our parish. We started a new Knights of Columbus. Their support was amazing yesterday. They joined with the Knights of Holy Apostles and that of St. Mary's. This truck of food brought food full that would satisfy over 300 families. People who otherwise, maybe this Thanksgiving would be no food for them, who otherwise, maybe Christmas, there'll be no food for them because of that money that you donate, because of the charity that you provide. We did what Jesus asked us to do, to serve others. Thank you, Knight. Thank you. Thank you, people of St. Patrick Church. I've been here, this is the 6th year, and I've seen you in action. I've seen you in action. A determination that no one that we see, unless we don't see him, unless we don't see her, no one should go to bed hungry in a world where sometimes food is wasted. Thank you. That no one should go on this cold and get sick in a world where so many people are throwing away coats. Coats were provided yesterday. Thank you. In a world where there are so many homes, many people own so many, and they can't sleep in all of them at the same time. Here in St. Patrick Church, here in McHenry, we make a determination that no one should go homeless, without heat, without a place to cover their nakedness. I am so proud of you. I'm proud of you. Thank you. One gentleman came to me yesterday and said, Father, sometimes Catholic things can be tough to understand because sometimes people don't even pay attention. 2 ladies in a Catholic community, he told me, walked into a salon. 2 sisters. They look alike. So immediately they walked in. The lady working at the salon said to them, are you guys sisters? They said, no, we are not even Catholics. They thought they were talking about religious sisters. That is how people dismiss Catholic things without paying attention. But when you pay attention, it's beautiful, isn't it? That's why we use symbols to explain things of the faith. Let me turn your attention to this one. Look at this. See that symbol? A Vatican representative came to this church. And after he studied all the beautiful windows, please study this window, see if you can, and all the detailed symbols in our church. When you read the book of Revelations, chapter 4 and chapter 5, come and look at this, our altar. It's arranged according to the book of Revelation. All the nitty-gritty, all the arrangement is the book of Revelation right here. And I love the psalm today. Our feet are standing within your gate, Jerusalem, at the entrance of the church, Domus Dei Porta Coeli. The house of God is the gate of heaven. We come into this gate of heaven and God nourishes our heart. So Father Mekichik talked about it last year, said the Vatican representative said, of all the designs and things we have, that is the most significant in this church. You know why? You're going to see Christ the King. Each time we come in here, you can see him raising his hand in blessing to his people. Isn't that beautiful? Now, even when people say, I can't even pray, I'm distracted when I'm trying to pray, come and kneel down with that distraction. Let Christ the King raise his hand and bless you. On the right-hand side and on the left, you see 2 angels who carry incense. What does that mean? Priesthood. He's a king who, as a priest, is coming to serve. A servant king. A king who serves. A king whose loyalty is equal to his faithfulness in service. That's what it is. And then you're going to see on the other side a book in this hand with Alpha and Omega. One represents the Old Testament. The other one is the New Testament, the beginning and the end. That is the prophet. King, priest, prophet. On the day of your baptism, he wanted you to be a priest. He wanted you to be a king. He wanted you to be a prophet. So you will do what? So like him, we will serve others. We will serve the poor. We will serve the needy. Serve those in the family. Serve those in the church. Serve those in the neighborhood. There will be no man, no woman that will go unserved because we are kings and queens with Jesus Christ. And we came not to serve ourselves, but to serve others. And I love it in the first reading today. When the people of the northern kingdom came and said to David, you're going to be our king. David wanted his royal kingship to be part of service. He made a commitment to loyalty. He will be loyal to serving them. Royalty and loyalty go together. Then in the second reading we are told, blessed and peace be God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has called us and found you fit to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. What does that mean? Despite your sinfulness, despite my sinfulness, despite the fact that we don't merit anything, through God's merciful love, He cleansed us and unites us to be like His Son, Jesus Christ. So like Jesus, who is a royalty, we got to serve others because Jesus does the same. Now the crowning came in the gospel reading. You heard the gospel reading? Even on the cross, at the point of death, with pain of death, He still serves to the point of death. And I've seen many wives, many husbands, many parents with tough times, with difficulties. They imitate Jesus by serving, and they never gave up unto the last breath. That's who we are. People called to serve. And I remember last year when the people of St. Vincent de Paul came. Actually, it was 3 years ago. They said, you know what, Father? There are so many poor people in our neighborhood. Some of them are not going to have food for Thanksgiving or Christmas. What can we do? We started at St. Patrick's Church. Then eventually Holy Apostles joined. Then eventually St. Mary's Church joined. And now it is spreading over McHenry. Now, that St. Vincent de Paul is asking this weekend again. Every weekend of Christ the King, they said, please open your wallet, open your purses. If you have 10,000 or 20, we will take. If you don't have, we're going to take $1. We're going to take 2 cents. We're going to take 25 cents. Now, after this Mass, one representative of St. Vincent de Paul is going to be out there with envelopes to say, what can we do? Because we have been so blessed by God. What can we do so those who don't have what we have cannot go hungry? In a world where there is so much food, in a world where there is so much wastage, in a world where there are so many homes, how can our brothers and sisters go without food? How can they go without shelter? Come help us. St. Vincent de Paul says, we're going to do the work for you. And guess what, people of St. Patrick's Church? I know you and I trust you. We can do it again. Let's do it. Let's do it this weekend. So that in this coming Thanksgiving, this coming Christmas, unless we don't see him, unless we don't see her, no man or no woman will go hungry. We join Christ the King and serve our brothers and sisters as we walk this walk to eternal life in heaven. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty,